how you use public space.
You just said you are and you aren't in one sentence. This is ridiculous.
Do you have to have a license to bus? Are you saying that now? Okay. Don't back down.
Whoa.
I will continue. I'll arrest me because I'm about to bus without a license. I'm sorry, I'm breaking the law in your eyes. Are you leaving?
Well, that was a dramatic way to start a video. Originally, this was just going to be another day in the life of a street performer, but things just kicked off. I'm going to tell you what happened. Firstly, allow me to introduce my friend Matt. Matt is a street performer. He was one of the people that was really nice to me when I started off street performing. He's a really cool guy. He also understands street performing and he understands the laws around it. He's always helped out when there's been any kind of conflict. A few months ago, there was a member of the council that kept coming and basically trying to shut down street performers and shut down street performing, and Matt was there every single day, quoting the law, fighting for our freedom. Which I know sounds a bit dramatic, but that's literally what it was. I obviously can't speak on behalf of Matt, but from knowing the guy, I gather he's very pro freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and he's really against when any authorities try and stop that happening. A couple of weeks ago, Matt mentioned to me that he'd been doing shows unamplified in Camden and that it was really good and I should try it out. Now, it's super important to mention here that in Camden, you are legally allowed to street perform. However, there is a bylaw that states if you want to use amplification, you have to have a license. The issue, it seems, is that the authorities aren't fully aware of this. Doing a show unamplified is a lot harder, but it's totally doable, and you have a lot less competition from other street performers in Camden. Anyway, we arrived, and here's what happened.
Oh, hello. Speak of the devil, this is Matt. That's really convenient. Oh, hey.
You up for having some fun in Camden?
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Where are we going to go?
Well, let's go down next to the tube station.
Okay.
Everybody pours out the tube station, so it's one of the best places to just pick everybody up.
We went to find a spot to perform, and then Matt spotted a community support officer talking to a street performer, so Matt went over just to see what was going on. Then the police came over, and then a debate happened. The busker was trying to perform without an amp, but the police were saying that busking without a license isn't allowed at all. Here's a clip of the police stating that.
So, you need a busking license to do any busking.
No, you don't. No, you don't. So it says exceptions are made. Well, there is a point.
Then Matt borrowed my phone to look up the legislation online and read it out to the police, but they were not having any of it. You can see here from the council's own website that you are legally allowed to busk in Camden without an amplifier. Music does seem to be a weird exception to this rule, but the fact that the police thought that all busking in Camden is illegal without a license is just not true. It's not accurate. They just kept insisting that you need a license despite what the law actually said on Camden's official website for this kind of thing. And I think at this point, Matt had had enough of the argument.
In Camden, you have to have a license to pass and a separate
You have to have a license.
license.
Do you have to have a license to bus? Are you
Yes,
saying that
in
now?
Camden
Okay.
you do.
Well, arrest me because I'm about to bus without a license. Hello, everybody! I'm about to begin a show. Please watch me. I believe that in a public place we should be free to express ourselves. I'm sorry, I'm breaking the law in your eyes. Are you leaving?
You carry on.
I'm breaking the law by busking without a license. I believe the police have left. I believe we won. Yeah.
After all of that drama, we went back to our spot to actually do some street shows. Matt went first and he did a really good show.
I'm gonna take my shirt off. Honestly, you don't realise what you're about to see. You're about to see one of the finest examples of the male species on this planet.
The fact that he can build a crowd and put on an entertaining show with nothing more than a tennis racket and a bin is unbelievably impressive. Then I did a show, and for me it was a bit of an uphill battle. I had to change a few things in my set because I wasn't working with a table. The amp is something that I've learned to rely on, so doing it without those things was a bit of a challenge, but I did manage it.
You reach in there and grab one out. Anyone you like, just a different card for me. Show everybody. Queen of Hearts, man. I said a different card. Just touch one, just touch one. Quick, grab one out, flip it over, what you got? I said not the Queen of Hearts.
Then we went to find another spot to perform, and if you think the first part of the day was chaotic, that is nothing compared to this. Just to pause my own video for a second to go on a bit of a tangent, YouTube's basically made a few changes recently that have massively affected a lot of people's view counts. If you do want to support my channel and help me keep doing this and help my channel grow, one of the best things that you can do to help me out is just to turn on notifications. So if you do that, YouTube lets you know when I upload, and it just really helps keep my channel alive and hopefully growing. So sorry to sort of tangent off and mention that, but if you do want to help me out, please turn on notifications. Anyway, back to the video. We decided to go to a market to do a show. Now the thing is, this is technically private property, but it is a public space, so technically you are legally allowed to do shows there. although it is a bit of a grey area to be honest. I thought, well, Matt can do the first show, worst case scenario we get told to leave and we can go somewhere else. How wrong I was. Matt starts a show and immediately security come over. Now I don't want this video to come across all anti-police and anti-security, that's not how I feel. This security guy seems like a nice guy, he was polite to Matt, he shook his hand, and Matt responded to his concerns but kept building a show. The security guard was just trying to do his job, but at this point all Matt had done was talk loudly in the street. It would have been a lot easier to just go and busk somewhere else, but Matt busks as a form of self-expression, not primarily for money, so we stayed. Matt tried to continue his show, and then this happened.
Space, we should be free, yes? Yes!
Whoa! Whoa!
In the public space! I will not be stopped from expressing myself!
What's really interesting here is that when the security sort of got a good grip over Matt, he just lay down on the ground, because then they sort of backed off, not wanting to look like they pushed him to the ground, and also it's very difficult to drag someone off an area when they're lying on the ground. As a little tangent to this, Matt has provided me this video clip of Matt being stopped by security at the South Bank, and what's interesting here is that he manages to drag himself over to the edge of the river, and then they all let go of him, and then he went on and managed to finish his show. Anyway, back to the Camden story. All this conflict and security helped Matt build a crowd. They eventually just left him to it and he did a great show. I think filming actually aggravated the situation. Maybe they thought that we were deliberately trying to cause conflict. At various points when we were stood off the private property, security guards would stand in front of the camera to try and block us filming, which me and Tomek just found hilarious. As Matt freely admits though, he was deliberately trying to cause conflict. To quote a little chat I had with him on Facebook, I did create conflict to show how private property and freedom collide, but I was peaceful. I challenged what power the security believed they had. All I was doing was talking to people. The police were called, and I don't want to presume it was the security. They were told that somebody was getting naked in the street, which is a ridiculous claim. All he did was take his shirt off, which is hardly getting naked. The police chatted with me and Matt and were respectful, other than not shaking Matt's hand, which I thought was a tad odd. It was a sort of agree to disagree kind of situation, and we called it a day. All this conflict seems to have come from a person or multiple people not understanding the law. Matt feels that he was in the right, the police were just trying to do their job, the security were just trying to do their job, but Matt was just trying to express himself. It might be pretty easy to look at this video and say, oh, the security were in the wrong, or oh, Matt was in the wrong, but it's not that simple. This video doesn't give nearly enough of an insight into street performing and the history of street performing to understand fully these conflicts. I've had bad run-ins with the police, I've had good run-ins with the police, same with the council. But without people like Matt fighting for our legal rights, street performing quite easily could have been stopped in London years ago.
Thank you.